Hello, and how's it going? Welcome to day 2 of the Black Tides of Heaven. We're gonna have a blast. I was so excited about how well the first stream went. I don't know what I really expected, but what I got was delightful. Part of the reason that I wasn't very nervous going in, literature streams really are very, what's the polite way to say it? Just no one watches them. One thing I always say about this stream is that I want it to be about excerpts. I don't want this stream to just literally be like, here's a book, shove it in your face. I don't think anyone has to go out and read on their own necessarily. Both of those like ways to interact with the stream are super valid. Does anyone have a strong preference for eyeshadow? It's probably going to be purple because it's always purple. Oh wow, this one's tricky. How did I do this last time? I think that's great. I think that's exactly how I hoped it would be. We're going to do a quick recap of the previous chapters. It's the Black Tides of Heaven. So some of you might have probably read the book before, and to some of you, it'll probably be a brand new experience. If you've read the book and you've read further than we've read, my one request would be, please don't give too many spoilers about what hasn't happened in the chapters we haven't read yet, because I don't want people to get more information than they bargained for, you know, in case people want to read this on their own time. Oh my god, I look like a mess right now, but you can't totally tell because it's a live stream and the camera quality isn't that good. I guess I should probably start going over the recap. It's The Black Tides of Heaven by 𝓬𝓵𝓾𝓫. The story so far is we have these two twins, 𝓬𝓵𝓾𝓫 and 𝓬𝓵𝓾𝓫. They were born to someone called the Protector. The Protector, who has been dealing with an uprising amongst the populace, had called on the monastery for help in the previous year before the book kind of starts. And in exchange for the help, the grand abbot of the monastery had asked for the Protector to send one of her children to the monastery to be trained in the monastery, kind of to, they don't say it outright, but it's kind of like to elevate the status of the monastery. You know, people think it's cool. They want the cool kids to study there. 𝓬𝓾𝓫 begins to experience dreams that are just disturbing at first, but along with their twin 𝓬𝓵𝓾𝓫, they start to quickly realize that they're not just dreams, they're prophecies, and they start coming true. Next prophecy, which is somewhat troubling, is one that is going to happen at a big like public event. It's going to be somewhat catastrophic. So the twins, they're kids at this point. I think they're like 9 years old. They realize that they have to tell the abbot. There's magic in this world. However, prophecy is not one of the normal ones. There's like healing medicine, there's like fire magic, there's different things that you can do using statecraft, but there hasn't, not in 100 years has there been a prophet. The Protector catches wind of this. She had only promised the monastery one of her children, and so because she had delivered twins to the monastery, she, taking back one of the twins, she's still fulfilling her promise. Like the other twin can still stay at the monastery. The twins actually don't want to go back. The twins basically want to stay together. 𝓬𝓵𝓾𝓫 had just discovered that they're going to get separated, and then 𝓬𝓵𝓾𝓫 runs back and tells 𝓬𝓾𝓫. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Queen of Roses. I like the Queen of Roses more than I liked the Protector. Though. I just like, these poor little children, like they already are dealing with so much because of like all this like weird magic that's happening around them. I like want to just shake my fist at the Protector because now they're like ripping them apart. It hasn't happened yet, but it sounds like it's going to. So that's, yeah, now we're all caught up. We're all up to speed, and we'll jump in just a second. I just have to finish looking pretty. Shiny, shiny lip juice. How is everybody? Are you having a good Thursday? Probably in seclusion somewhere. Piles of toilet paper surrounding you. Only the lucky among us. All right. Let's quickly move on to the book. Here we go, chapter 5. I'm gonna probably zone out of chat while I'm reading, but feel free to like ask questions, and after we get to a stopping point, I'll revisit chat. I apologize for the squeaking noises. My dog is like so excited right now. So far in this book, we've only been introduced to characters who are children, who have not decided on a gender, and characters who have decided on a gender, either because the narrative tells us that they chose a gender or because it uses gendered pronouns on them. Like, one of the things that we talked about a lot on the last stream was about how this book, just the way it's written, it gives you like this much to go on at any given time. Like, days and solar cycles and lunar cycles are so different in this world, but again, it's just this passing thing. There's just like an offhand comment about how the sun had cycled several times and it was still the first day of their travel. In this chapter that we just read, it mentioned something, just like some offhand comment about like the midnight sun. There are these little kernels. I love that because I'm not very good at reading. Like, if a book was so detailed that it gave the full description of all of those things, like every time they came up, I would probably, it would feel really dense to me, and it would probably be harder for me to stick with reading. So I don't mind a little like disorientation when it comes to details like that, if it can give you these like glimpses that are enough to like puzzle out into like a fuller idea, you know, when you sit and think about them. But you know, they're just like glimpses and phrases as they're written in the book. So every time gender comes up in these books, we learn a little bit more, another tiny piece that kind of like adds into this kind of fuller picture of like, why are people approaching gender this way in this world? Switch over to chat cam. My hunch, just based on like how many wonderful things there are about this book, is that I think the author like very cleverly is like, you know, like just giving you this much to go on so that you like, you want more, you want to keep finding out. I think the way the author describes a lot of the current affairs, like the news type items in this world, I think there's a very specific voice. Like, it's not an unreliable narrator. Like, it's not like actively misleading. I guess it's like, it's not an unbiased narrator either. Like what you were talking about with word choice, I think those things are kind of connected, is my guess. Oh my god, love kernels. There are a lot of songs from that show that like stick with me. So many of my friends have never watched that show, so I'm always like the person who's like saying this thing, like referencing this in joke from that show, and like just everyone's like, what? Love Kernels has the best music video. I like the bit of story that's about to happen. I mean, I love the whole book, but I like the bit of story that's about to happen. Sometimes I feel like the author of this book, it's not like showing off like the way they write stuff, but like they put such flourish on it that it's like, it's like, oh, you did that just for me. Like, they could have explained a lot of this stuff in a much more, you know, matter-of-fact way, but like the little like the ornate like the analogies and the metaphors, they're beautiful. One quick thing that I wanted to mention that I'd forgotten about, actually, the language that we're reading the dialogue in is English, but the language that they're actually speaking in English, there's gendered third-person pronouns and non-gendered ones. I don't think we have like gendered second-person pronouns are all just you, right? There's not like the feminine and the masculine of you, and there's not like the feminine and the masculine of I. Again, one of those little love kernels in this past chapter was just they have gendered first person pronouns. I'm intentionally avoiding saying certain things right now. Let's see what I can say. In the earliest chapters, like, it introduces this like beautiful approach to gender. Everyone waits until they confirm their own gender. The first section of chapter 6, they talk about how there is that expectation. So I guess what I will say is that it comes up several more times at least. And then even after this book, even more things come up in further books. And I guess that's all I'll say on that topic for now. There's like so many like different distinct things about these books. I love the very inventive, unique lore and mythology around how magic or slackcraft works in these books. I love the way gender is treated as a concept, how they're gender expression and their like the way that they describe the concept of their own gender is filters through that lens. There are other things which like I won't talk as much about, but I'll say that we've seen foreshadowed. There's like at least like 10 different reasons I'm very excited to read books 3 and 4 as well. Look at my little beans. Hello. Hello, baby dolls. Hello, baby cookie girl. Oh, my little muffins. Cookie bean. Oh, who are my affectionate little babies? Who are my sweet little cookie girls? They've come a long way, actually, but when I first got them from the shelter, they were both they'd been through a lot. I was just like showing off my beautiful little puppies. I could reread a book or like rewatch a film a lot. There's so many ideas that like stick with me in like a really like probably for the rest of my life. And then there are other things that like honestly, like if I reread this book like a month apart, there would be things that I'd kind of like forgotten already and that like are new again already. It's fun revisiting things that you've already read. Because of what you know going in, you can appreciate other aspects. There are different ways that stories are told that that you almost need to at least go through them a couple times before you really can get like before you can. I keep thinking of food analogies. I think I'm hungry. I think I have to go have dinner. I'm gonna go eat a book. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I think we'll call it there for tonight for this stream. Oh, one of the things that I did just for funsies, just for convenience, and I'll probably do it again for this stream, was if you go into the video section of the Read Aloud Twitch page, you'll see that I chopped up all the little chapters, so you can, if you ever need to catch up, you can go, whichever chapters you missed, you can go pop in there. It put them in a weird order. I don't know why that happened. Thank you again to everyone for your wonderful. I love experiencing media. Usually when I read a book, it's books that none of my friends that I know, it's books that they haven't read yet. And like sometimes I'll try and convince them to read it and stuff, but I haven't had a lot of luck with that. But I love experiencing media with other people. It always elicits very strong reactions from me when I love something. So hearing that, like what other people get out of it, like you get like different twists and different takes, and like it's kind of like we were just talking about with like reading things multiple times, like reading things with a friend or reading things with other people, like it's the same sort of way. You get different things out of it, and like so sharing that is something that I also really like to enjoy. Stay safe and well hydrated and entertained and refreshed. Do what you need to get through these very strange times. And then next week we can jump back into fantasy world and escape it all again. Thank you again. Have a wonderful night. Mwah.